services are different and if they would suit the person you know. My services are very niche to a particular client group. And the reason is that what I'm finding is I can understand the capacity to manage technology and also me teach it. Now, when someone is having trouble communicating, one of the problems they're having with the modern technology is some of the configurations and updates. I've seen over the years a lot of updates and things come through automatically and they just change the way the communication device works. And that communication device is very important to be stable, something that will have the same button presses every time. Because we're moving from a telephone that had 9 digits, 10 digits, 12 digits with shortcuts to a device that allows all sorts of information to come through. So in communicating, there was less distraction and you could just get through and do what you needed to do or leave a message. Now what's happening is you have a communication device that when you're looking for help with it, you either have to go to a shop, which their skill is in providing new devices, or you have to go to the internet provider and their skill is just delivering speed and the amount of data you need for a price. Now, these two separate entities aren't specialists in how all the apps work together. As much as um, you want to hope that the phone shop will be able to help you or help the client rearrange something to make it work, or you get the best advice. One of the problems is you need someone like myself who specializes, takes that advice and skills from all those years and brings it into the level of how you are going to manipulate the software and everything on that device to work to add conveniences to it that make it to reduce the friction for daily activities. Now, because I install it and I coach on it and I install stuff that's going to stay around for a long time. And the other key is I install stuff that doesn't have any subscription, like there's no cost to it. So unless it's something particular, I avoid that because most of my clients are on some pension, and I know that $10 a month, $2 a month, whatever it is really taken away from their ability to have food. But I need them to be able to communicate. We all know that communication these days is the key to being able to find help, find a group, be a part of the group you like, make friends, doctor's bookings. The government wants you to have access to an app for two-factor authentication. They want you to use the same number, the same phone, the same email address. They need your age now. So a lot of these actual government pushes are not considered with the bottom end technology and the people at the bottom. So what happens is I'm seeing a lot of people getting trapped where they can't solve problems out because they only got a phone, but they can't do a signature on a phone, or the phone doesn't have QR code abilities built into the camera. So when they go to use the QR code, the camera doesn't do what it needs to do like not other phones. And so there's a big range there where the considerations of what I'm doing is really important to drive a positive experience, but an experience where someone consistently able to understand the daily activities. For example, one client, and this is just on a simple connection issue, said that when she felt wealthy, she would go buy a $10 voucher for phone credit. Because I asked her, why can't you make calls to me if you need help? And then she said about the voucher. And I realized, I said, that's $40 a month you're paying. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, well, that voucher's only valid for 7 days. And I said, well, why don't we move your phone number to somewhere that's more affordable, that fits your price range and what you're actually doing online, because you're spending most of the time at home because you're ill. So we rearranged it to suit her conditions. Now, the advice she's obviously getting elsewhere is to just get another voucher. And I found she had multiple numbers and multiple email addresses and things like this. So cleaning all that up and helping her understand how it works on a communication level, how important it is to have stability in her phone number and email address for the government accounts, the doctor's appointments, for the bank accounts, means that she can have a stabilized environment. So I'm there to create the environment and onboard someone enough that they can do it themselves in the future. So stabilized environments is super important, and making it work to the capacity of the person, because you've got to have someone with tremors and they can't use the keyboard on the phone like someone else. And some of these keyboards have what's called swipe turned on, so you can type by swiping. Now, if you've got tremors, that's a terrible idea, but it's sometimes turned on automatically, and you'll see a lot of mistakes going through. So how do we avoid these things, or how do we adjust it so it works better for them? So there's a lot of minutiae of details in the way the software is set up for different people. One client, totally blind, has is getting tremors. Now, if you're blind, you read with your hands, and if you've got tremors and you're blind, it makes it more difficult to do things. And so we're doing a lot of understanding of the virtual environments while he can, and then moving it into what voice approach can we use to assist in these situations. And we've stabilized a beautiful environment, and he's really happy that he's moving forward. And the ability to get news and information as he needs it is just absolutely remarkable change. So, my point is that this is not, I know some larger companies want to have, they've got a deal with a certain company to supply their products and their brand names and stuff like that. This is not what I do. And I have found when, if you are connected particularly to or you're tied to a brand, and what I've seen in the market there is a client will try and get the product from one store, which makes it easy the for the payment, and then that store will deliver the same stuff, but it doesn't fit. Like one store just gave us light bulbs that were like, that long instead of that long, right? And they didn't fit in the globe sources, or they posted out a camera that wasn't compatible with the other software. So teaching clients multiple software doesn't work either. The intention is to you organize stuff that they can buy off the shelf and they can plug it in later on, so it all just works. So my goal is to set up foundation materials and then get them going. And once they're going, it's a very stable environment. A couple of people with MS, late stage, um, set up voice control for their heating and cooling. Now they have in an older place where it wasn't probable that they were going to get the cooling changed to a voice controlled one. So I was able to adjust and add a bit of technology that was reasonably cheap but stable and off the shelf, that's able to allow them to turn lights on, able to turn the air conditioning on, able to turn their old DVD player on, able to turn the lights on and off, because late stage they weren't able to use their hands, and so it was very important that the voice technology works well. So, and they got choice in what they can buy. So, a very stable environment. And we have had instances where the power's blacked out. And so, what's happened is, in double checking with a few of them, is all the devices reconnect themselves. So it's all got redundancy to a degree where they will find themselves, get the information, and reconnect. Couple instances where maybe one thing hasn't done it, but we've been able to just flick it off and flick it on. But that's about creating a stable foundation, and then from that foundation, the client's able to build things in so they can live independently and reduce costs of and reduce the time of the support workers to focus on their job, because they've got very important roles in doing what they need to do. And sometimes, if they're hands deep in the dishes or something like that, and just to go turn a light on can take that bit of time to change PPE and da 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 da. So I'm trying to reduce costs across the whole network as much as I can through automation at particular sites. I know a lot of people see news articles where someone gets this or someone gets that, but the understanding of that particular person's situation is a very hard to describe, because a lot of it is cognitive, and when I'm there and working out what I can coach and how well to coach it to get that onboarding process done and cemented in. And people just say, write a note, but because it's cognitive, they can't remember there's a note to find the note. It's it's actually a mind blowing situation, which is super interesting, because it's like you're thinking, like, well, when you just do a note, well, when you put things, you could have signs all over their house and it wouldn't feel like home. So it's very important to adjust the technology, and some of the new stuff coming out will answer. And I've developed a few um, things that will work as verbal outputs, and it works really well. But it's just a matter of spending time with people. People need the time to integrate these things. I'm over the years of seeing the product dumping where, I go into a house and they've given this whiz bang device, and I'm going, what's it doing up on the shelf? Oh, they delivered it, and it's cost them like $500-700, but it's not a big name thing, so no one knows that they're getting these devices that are sort of semi useless. And then I go back and they're not wearing it. Like, so I'll go charge it up, fix it, and just get the thing running, even though it's not my, that's someone else's thing, but it just needs to be working, because I don't want them to have a fall and not, have being able to call someone. So duty of care, to make sure that we're getting the best response. So that's how I'm working with a couple of situations very generally, and I hope that works. Anyway, all the best. If you want to join in and join the conversation, I do have a WhatsApp community, which you can chat about there, or contact me if you have a situation you want to talk to me about. I can pretty well do a little bit of a conversation with you and give you some ideas. If you're around Australia, the network of people that want to be part of the ecosystems brand and want to be a part of this work, and the super independence coming up, uh, there's going to be more people wanting to be specific and the ability to be flexible. Flexibility is the biggest problem in this industry because everyone's trying to punch out the same product, trying to be cookie cutters. But if you know the industry and the clients you're working with, you don't know that someone's blind is going to have tremors. So it's really niche, and you can do a lot by just considering all these things and making it work. So stuff's already built in. It's not just a telephone anymore. It's actually more than that, and it can do more. And it's just a brilliant time to be. So come aboard, welcome aboard. Have a look at all my materials. There's plenty of blog posts there for you to read through and have a look at. And also, too, on some of them, or even on the books and stuff like that, I've actually put some audio there for you so you can actually listen to it a little bit first of the conversation about it. I'm trying to offer some solutions with deeper detail if you can afford it, but trying to share the bulk of it as much as possible, trying to keep the price and value down. But they have taken a lot of time to get some of the stuff together, but I'm sharing as much as I can. Anyway, I wish you all the best.